Okay, it's got a bit dark, so let's move on to queries. Create a query called Q2 based on the table 2 as follows. Okay, they want all the fields except the title field. Okay, let's deal with that first of all. How would we go about creating a query? That's kind of our first task we've got to do here. So what I would do is I would go and I would create. Pretty much sounds the right place to be. Query design, that's where I would go, and I would say radio. We into this table 2, that's the one that I want to use, and I want to use all the fields except the title. So I'd skip over title, didn't want to do that one, and I'd use surname and name and date of birth, and I'd carry on and on and on. Okay, you get the idea. Well, I'm not trying to cheat or anything, but it's kind of like these cooking programs. We always have part of the stuff done beforehand. So I'm just going to jump into this query here where I've just set up the field so long, just to save a bit of time so that you didn't fall asleep in the video. And I've got all the fields set up. Okay, that's not too bad. Now what they want is for us to show all the fields we've done that the records must be sorted, okay, in order of the age of the people from youngest to oldest. So youngest must appear at the top. Okay, what field's going to help us here? Date of birth could be a possibility. Nothing else really going to help us here. No, so date of birth is kind of what we're needing to look at there. Let's just run this query first of all, just see what we're getting here. Okay, the date of birth gives us a clue because the further back in time they were born, the older they are. Yeah, right. Not genius stuff, but it's an important concept that we're looking at here. So what we want to say is we want to go back to design view and we want to sort according to the date of birth field, but we want the youngest at the top. So in my sort section I'm going to say ascending or descending. I'd say descending. And it's going from, no, I wouldn't say, let's try ascending. Now I'm really doubting myself. Okay, I'm saying it will start at the oldest and work our way up. And let's have a look what we've got there. Right, and it seems to be working. We've got a few that didn't have a date of birth. That's why they sort of scrunched up at the top there. And that would be our oldest person at the top. But wait a bit, didn't we want the youngest person? Ooh, yeah, from youngest. Okay, so it's the other way around. It actually had to be in descending order. And then you always go back and check your query to see if it kind of makes sense. Often it looks like it should work, and then you think you don't bother going to check the results. It'd be a bit silly. So let's go and check that again. Run it. Okay, that looks like the youngsters at the top, scrolling down to the old toppies at the bottom. So that part looks done. And the last part is only records of the disabled people must be shown. Okay, so we've got to go back into design view and we've already got to enter some criteria because at the moment it's just showing us every single record. We only want the disabled fellows. And before we actually go back, it's a good idea. You see that it's kind of like a on off true false type of field, tick no tick type of thing. So we need to bear that in mind when we specify our criteria. And we'll go back into design view, and under disabled we can try two ways. You can either say true, or you can use the word yes. So let's just say true and see that it makes sense. And we've got all the disabled people. Okay, it's still sorted, remember, so that criteria still stays in place, or that parameter still stays in place, and we've got disabled. If we needed to add any other criteria, we could do so anywhere we like. So for example, if we only wanted females, we would specify F for female or whatever we needed. But that, as queries go, that's a fairly simple query. It's just a bit tricky about their date of birth. Okay, that certainly caught me out, but you're probably smarter than I am. I mean, after all, I'm the dude wearing the dark glasses at night. Okay, that looks like it for question 2.